Welcome back to this week's Ohio Tech Report. Another exciting week for tech in Ohio, and we are welcomed back by one of probably our most reoccurring guest co-hosts. But Tonjia, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for joining us, and say hi to folks.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Ohio X. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. So we're going to dive in. Before we do, we have three stories. So we're going to be talking about Meta's big announcement that just happened about more development, more money coming to Central Ohio to build out their operations. We have some exciting startup news out of Cincinnati and a really interesting story that we'll link in the comments. And then a final recap is just the Ohio Tech Summit. So Tonjia was there virtually with us, giving some remarks, and it was a fantastic day up in Cleveland this past weekend. So it was a really, really awesome weekend for tech and innovation in the state. But before we start, we have to thank our presenting sponsor for the show, Apprenti. They're a 501c3 nonprofit that delivers registered apprenticeship programs to bridge the tech talent and diversity gaps. By adapting the time-tested model of apprenticeship, Apprenti helps employers meet evolving workforce needs and trains future tech workers with an emphasis on underrepresented groups, including women, people of color, veterans, and people with disabilities. Their programs are industry recognized and approved for employers with tech talent needs across the United States. So we thank them. Thanks for making this possible, bringing great stories like this and great co-hosts like Tonjia. So Tonjia, we're going to dive in. So the first one is Facebook's Meta announced an expansion of their New Albany data center. So this is Facebook, Instagram, etc., but Meta is now the big name company. That they are going to have more additions. It's going to bring their Ohio investment to $1.5 billion, support 300 jobs once completed, and increase the number of construction workers on site from 1,200 to 1,800 for years to come. So it's an awesome announcement for Central Ohio, for Ohio.
You know, tech is the gift that keeps on giving to Ohio. It's every week, Chris, you're coming with new things. And what I really appreciate about this Meta announcement is not only the jobs that it's going to create in tech, but also the ancillary supporting jobs that it will create and expand in construction. So I really think what we're seeing now is tech as an economic development vehicle for Ohio, for the Silicon Heartland. Look, I'm representing today.
I love it.
And,
awesome.
and I think that's so important because it really is showing that technology as an industry is all encompassing, and it's going to provide some access points, additional access points. So that's why companies like Apprenti are so important for people who need to pivot in their careers and be able to have access to the jobs that are going to keep coming each week. We're hearing about new things.
Yeah, and I love your comment about the economic development because it's tech jobs, of course, but then it's also construction. So it's an entire kind of range of skills and education levels and training types, whether it's apprenticeships or computer science Ph.D. degrees. So it's kind of the whole gamut. And I think that's what makes a healthy, ecosystem and a healthy kind of economy. And so we're definitely lucky to have them in Central Ohio and being in Ohio. And so kind of another interesting story as we talk about tech and kind of the growth, etc. A story out of Cincy, Inno. So we love to share stories from them and one of their reporters, Liz Engel, who does some really great work in Southwestern Ohio. But this is about 3 Cincinnati startups that are kind of at this point trying to become their first $10 billion tech company. And so the 3 are Astronomer, Enable Injections, and 80 Acres. And they've all raised these really, really big rounds in recent months. And so there's this really cool story, which we'll link into the comments, about seeing if Cincinnati could have their first $10 billion startup. But Tonjia, it goes back to our conversations around just the growth, the evolution, all that's happening in economic development, and all the jobs that those companies could be bringing.
And all the jobs that they're bringing are being homegrown. And again, the I guess comparison between the two stories is we have Meta, who's an established company that's been around for a while, and we have these new companies that are coming up behind them and bringing additional jobs, additional opportunities for Ohioans by Ohioans. And so when we're looking at a healthy ecosystem, this is what we're seeing here, right here in Ohio. It's not just big tech co coming. It's people coming, creating their ideas, home growing, making a whole organic. I'm saying organic because I'm familiar with 80 acres. So that's kind of my plan. So organically growing what we do here in Ohio. And so I also think the other thing that I really appreciate about Ohio is we're not seeing tech opportunities limited to Central Ohio. or to northeastern Ohio. We have in southwestern Ohio, it's like the whole entire state is
Mhm.
being blanketed by these variety of tech opportunities. So I'm cheering them on. I know they're going to get their first 10 billion. I'm waiting for that. Bring me back on when it's time for that story.
Awesome. Well, and I love it to your point about the kind of diversity of region and all that. And you mentioned 80 acres, and they're an indoor vertically kind of in an indoor farming company where they literally grow these vertical farms, all these different produce pieces that you can buy at Whole Foods and other places. And so just, we've talked about Meta, obviously computer software, social media, those types of things, 80 acres, ag tech, some of the biotech that was also listed for the Cincinnati company. So it's really a big set of diversity in terms of the sectors and industries they're in. And that's one of the cool things that I really find exciting with tech.
I agree
So,
because when
Tanja,
you
you
say
ready for
social,
story number 3?
yes.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to
All right.
say
We'll go
really
to
quickly.
story.
I agree.
Go ahead.
Just that our just supporting your comment about having a diverse in our sector. Some regions are really
Yeah.
specialized in biotech or
Yeah.
whatever, but we see a lot of different opportunities here in Ohio, and so I really appreciate that about our space.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll now correctly pivot to story number 3. So that was my bad. But it's just about the Ohio Tech Summit, which was in Cleveland. So we've talked about Columbus, Cincinnati, and now going to Cleveland, which was this past Saturday at John Carroll University. Fantastic day. So Tanja, thanks so much for putting together some stuff for us for that day. But really just wanted to say thank you to everyone who attended, everyone who supported, everyone who's tried to get tickets. We were sold out. Everyone who spoke, all the vendors, the companies, the sponsors, and even people that just saw content on social media and liked it. It was a fantastic day. It brought together so many great people. And it's really, as we've been talking about here today, Tanja, the excitement for tech in our state and people that are passionate about it, because companies are great and they're doing interesting things, but it's people. And so when we talk about, companies like Nationwide, where you're at, or Meta, or some of these startups, it's the people that make it all happen. And that's what makes it really special. So on behalf of myself, OhioX, all the kind of organizers from the summit, thank you to everyone who attended. And Tanja, just kind of more excitement that we keep seeing in the tech space. And I can't wait to see what grows next.
I agree. And since you can't thank you, I'm going to thank you on behalf of all of Ohio for bringing OhioX to life and really sharing your vision with all of us and elevating the entire state from end to end and being sure that we all stay connected and we stay aware of all the great things that are happening. And I think that energy spawns additional energy. When you hear what's going on in Cincinnati and Columbus and Cleveland, and I think you're bringing us the art of the possible. So thank you from all of us, Chris.
Well, thank you, Tanja. And so with about 30 to 45 seconds left, why don't you kind of do your plug for Nationwide, the roles you're hiring for, you're growing, all these tech opportunities at one of Ohio's most iconic brands. So Tanja, why don't you wrap it up for us this week?
Absolutely. So we are excited to announce that we've had so many new Nationwiders join us since our beginning of the year in the tech area. And so there's still some more room for you. If you're interested in learning more about tech careers at Nationwide, you can go to careers.nationwide.com. Or if you like an introduction, you can find me on LinkedIn, Tonjia Coverdale, and I'd be more than happy to help connect you to our talent acquisition. But we still got some more room and we're looking for awesome, amazing people like you.
That's awesome. And Tanja, we'll be tagging you. We'll tag Nationwide so people can check it out. We'll also put the direct link to those careers in the comments for this. So hopefully people can go over, check it out, see what you all are doing from, again, one of Ohio's most iconic brands. So Tanja, thanks for being here this week. We want to thank Apprenti, our sponsor, for making this possible. Everyone for watching. Have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll talk to you all next week. Bye-bye.